My name is Annette. I'm sitting on a balcony in Charleston, sipping coffee and watching the sunrise over the harbor. It's a peaceful moment, but my mind is filled with memories of the past year. A year that changed my life and taught me the true meaning of boundaries and self-care. It all came to a head on that fateful Monday morning when I sent an Excel spreadsheet to my family. The spreadsheet detailed every single payment I had made over 11 years, a grand total of $369,600. I remember the quiet click of the send button, and then the waiting began. Let me take you back to the beginning. I grew up in a small town called Meadowbrook. It's the kind of place where everyone knows everyone else's business. With a population of just under 9,000, it had one main street, a couple of local stores, and a high school where my parents, Henry and Rose, met. My father, Henry, was a hard-working mechanic at the local auto shop for 25 years. My mother, Rose, was a schoolteacher. They had a comfortable life, and I always thought we were a close-knit family. When I was 28, I landed a job at a large tech company in the city. I worked long hours, climbed the corporate ladder, and by the time I was 33, I was earning a six-figure salary. It was a proud moment for me and my family. One evening, my mother called. I was standing in my kitchen making dinner. She said, "Annette, your father's shop is going through a rough patch. Could you help us out a little? Just until things get better." I didn't hesitate. I loved my parents, and I wanted to help. So I started sending them $1,500 every month to cover their mortgage. Not long after, my older sister, Lily, who was 36 at the time, got into some financial trouble. Her car needed major repairs, and she couldn't afford the insurance. "Just until I get back on my feet," she pleaded. I added another $700 to my monthly payments for her car expenses. Then there was my younger brother, Jake, who was 26. He was always in and out of jobs. His phone bill was about to be cut off, and he asked me for $500 a month to keep his phone and streaming services going. Over the years, there were also unexpected expenses. Mom needed dental work, Lily had a traffic ticket, and Jake had some medical bills. On average, I was spending an additional $400 a month on these miscellaneous costs. In total, I was sending $3,100 out of my account every single month. I never really thought about the total amount until I lost my job. It was a shock. I had been at the company for 9 years, and I had received excellent performance reviews. But the parent company was restructuring, and my position was eliminated. On the morning I lost my job, I called my family. My mother answered and said, "We'll manage." Then she immediately asked if she should call the bank about the mortgage. Lily said, "This is really inconvenient. I was counting on that money." Jake didn't even pick up the phone. I sat at my kitchen table, waiting for a text, a call, anything. But for 94 days, there was complete silence. Not a single message asking if I was okay. During those 94 days, I started to realize how much I had been taken for granted. I updated my resume, applied for jobs, and watched my savings dwindle. I had $25,000 in savings, but with the monthly payment still set to go out, I knew I was in trouble. On the third day of my unemployment, I turned off the automatic transfers. I didn't tell anyone. I just did it. I thought for sure someone would notice, but no one did. As the days passed, I started to feel angry. I was tired of being the family's bank. So, on day 70, I decided to create a spreadsheet. I spent hours going through my bank statements, documenting every payment, every date, and every reason. When I saw the total of $369,600 on the screen, I was stunned. I also realized that my mother had been telling our extended family that I loved helping the family, that it was just who I was. They had no idea about the real financial burden I had been carrying. On day 91, I got a job offer. It was a fully remote position as an analytics manager at a mid-sized tech company, with a base salary of $130,000 a year. It was more than I had been earning at my previous job. But this time, I didn't rush to tell my family. I held the news to myself for a day. On day 94, I sat at my kitchen table before sunrise. I looked at my mother's name in my contacts and thought about all the times I had waited for her to call and ask how I was. I opened the spreadsheet again and decided to send it to my immediate family and some members of the extended family, including my aunt, Grace, and my uncle, Frank. I sent the email without a subject line and no message in the body. I just let the spreadsheet speak for itself. After I sent the email, I went about my day. I logged into the new company's onboarding portal and started filling out forms. At 9:03, my mother called. I let it go to voicemail. Then Lily called, and I ignored that too. Mom called again, and this time, she left a voicemail. Annette, I don't know what you're doing, but this is not okay. Call me back right now. I listened to the voicemail during a break. Her voice was sharp, not the voice of someone concerned about me, but someone who had been caught. My aunt, Grace, called me later that day. She was shocked. I had no idea, Annette. Your mother always made it seem like you were just helping out a little. My uncle, Frank, also called my father. I could tell from my father's voice when he called me that night that things had changed. Your uncle called, he said quietly. I know, Dad, I replied. The next day, I called Lily back. She was crying. I know I messed up, but you made Mom look bad in front of everyone. I asked her, in 94 days, did you call to ask if I was okay? She was silent. I repeated the question, and she hung up. Jake texted me later that day. I didn't know it was that much. It wasn't an apology, but it was an acknowledgement. That evening, I called my mother back. She started by saying that I had hurt the family. I asked her, in 94 days, how many times did you call to ask if I was okay? She was silent for a long time. Then she said she was scared I would stop helping. I told her that the payments were over. Mom, I love you, but I'm done being the family's bank. Thanksgiving was approaching. For the past 11 years, I had been the one to organize it. I would order the turkey, buy the food, and coordinate who was bringing what. But this year, I did nothing. I watched the family group chat, and no one said a word about Thanksgiving. On Thanksgiving morning, I cooked pasta at home. It was just for me, and it was the first time in my adult life that I had a Thanksgiving meal without any obligations. It was a strange feeling, but also a relief. In early December, I met with a financial advisor, MS Thompson. She was in her 50s, with a no-nonsense attitude. She looked at my numbers and said, "You've been bleeding a significant amount of monthly income." She helped me set up a Roth IRA, increased my 401k contribution to 15%, and established a savings target of 6 months of expenses. As the weeks passed, things started to change. My parents worked with the bank to restructure their mortgage. My mother went back to teaching full-time. Lily sent me a long email apologizing, but I told her I needed time. Jake got a new job and set up his own phone plan. My relationship with my family is still a work in progress. I talk to my father regularly now. We have a standing phone call on Tuesday mornings, and we talk about simple things like crossword puzzles and old songs. My Aunt Grace has become a closer part of my life. She calls me to check on me, and we have dinner over the phone sometimes. I've learned that generosity should not mean giving until you're empty. And boundaries are not walls. They are doors that you can open and close on your own terms. It's been a long and difficult journey, but I'm finally learning to be a person, not just the family's bank. As I sit here on this balcony in Charleston, watching the sun rise, I'm filled with a sense of peace. I know that the road ahead will still have its challenges, but I'm ready to face them on my own terms. If you've ever been in a similar situation, I'd love to hear your story. Leave a comment and let me know what your spreadsheet would say.